Well, hello everyone. I'm Brownfield's Rhiannon Branch, coming to you live from the Farm Progress Show in Decatur, Illinois. We are in booth 605 with the Illinois Corn Growers Association and Illinois Soybean Association, talking about the power of two. And I will go ahead and let my guests introduce themselves.
Well, great. Thank you, Rhiannon. John Lumpe, the CEO for the Illinois Soybean Association.
And Rod Weinzierl, Executive Director of the Illinois Corn Growers Association. Has been around a little bit longer than John, maybe a couple decades versus a couple of years. And also farm part-time in western McLean County with my brother-in-law and my daughter.
Well, guys, let's talk a little bit about the synergies for Illinois corn and Illinois soy under the power of two.
Well, from a corn side, I'll maybe just start. I mean, it makes total sense if you think most of the farms in Illinois are on a crop rotation, corn and soybeans. We matter as crops to every farmer out there. So what can we be doing more together and create that synergy to do even better than what we can do either one by ourselves?
Definitely not competing, right, John?
No, not competing, complementing each other and working together at all levels. Not only just Rod and I, but our staffs and the board members also.
So from this partnership, let's talk a little bit about what our farmers can expect from this.
Well, I think one of the areas that they might see initially is there's a program out there here in Illinois called Precision Conservation Management. It's designed to use the power of economics around the practices that farmers use every day to discover what conservation practices work relative to economics. How can we drive those practices through economics? I think a lot of people know that we don't have a lot of money in Illinois from state government to help incent farmers, so it's all going to be economics that are going to drive that. There's a lot of regulatory pressure out there. Soybeans and us are partnering on that program. We're going to be in 30-some counties here in the near future, and so that would be one area that is going to be really important. These practices work on both corn acres and bean acres, and makes total sense from a crop rotation and a practice standpoint to be working on that.
And John, that also means that not only for PCM but for other projects, it's more people working on it together, more dollars generated together for the farmers.
Exactly, Rand. And the beauty of the PCM project, for example, is we could have started and created our own, but why? For us to partner with corn, it only makes the most sense. They had the platform in place. They needed additional funding, and we were able to provide that, and now we're covering it statewide.
Let's talk a little bit about what we've got going on in the tent here at Farm Progress Show. Big tent here with you both together, and we've got booths in every corner. So let's touch on some of those can't miss things at the tent. Rodney, you want to start us off?
Well, yeah, we're both heavily invested in biofuels. Soybeans, of course, from a biodiesel standpoint. They have a pickup here on one corner of the tent. Us on the ethanol side have a pickup on the other corner of the tent talking about biofuels. We've been working together. We've created a joint task force on what we can do jointly here in the state of Illinois from a renewable liquid fuels project. We've invited Farm Bureau and the biodiesel industry and the ethanol industry to participate in that. A lot of discussion right now in the state of Illinois around climate and energy. I think we both feel that liquid fuels has a place there, and we're working together to advocate for that and to carve out that place.
No, that's right. And some of the other pieces you'll see here, Rhiannon, is we have a lot of our national folks here representing us. Grains Council, American Soybean Association, United Soybean Board, Waterways Council. So you get a taste and flavor of some of our national groups. And some of these groups we are both partnering with projects on, including the Waterways Council.
Yeah, we work real closely with a lot of other partners.
Yes.
The Lung Association, we've probably both worked with them, I'm going to say probably over 15 years. They're here advocating for clean air, using biodiesel and ethanol to do that. The Illinois Beef Association, which is value added, right? So, it's all about creating markets for the farmers throughout the state of Illinois.
Let's touch on some of the things that are unique to your tent. I know we've got like some soy lattes back there, maybe some soy crayons for the kids, and some things on the corn side. Touch on some of those.
Well, every morning we've got soy lattes and soy donuts here from 8 to 10. So tomorrow's the last day for that. And we're promoting soy-based crayons with the new coloring book that we've created, really for kids of all ages.
Yeah, maybe from an old corn guy, I really appreciate the caffeine. I'm not really a Red Bull generation, so cafe and a little bit of a sugar hit's really important for me.
Definitely, and we've got some maybe sign-ups around checking into Illinois Soy Advisor. I think we can sign up for PCM while farmers visit the booth, some things along those lines.
No, it's very important. We're trying to get not only from an advocacy standpoint, Brandon, but also get an information flow out to the farmer, and then also the PCM sign-ups. We've got several of our team members here from both groups here to answer the questions, really on all sides, trade, policy, PCM, you name it, we're one-stop shop for both corn and soy.
And from a farmer standpoint, I think everybody recognizes there's fewer and fewer farmers all the time. There's fewer and fewer descendants of farmers who really understand what Illinois agriculture about. Advocacy is exceedingly important for both of our organizations and really for all of agriculture. So I would urge, if there are farmers out there, you need to participate with your respective association or any sector of agriculture that you happen to be in. There's just more and more of the public's unfamiliar, and it's important that we're working together to get our story out.
Final question for you guys before we bring in the next set to talk about some biofuels. What's your favorite part of the Farm Progress Show? We're lucky enough to get to host it here in Illinois every other year, and you guys have been involved in that. What is your favorite part?
I mean, besides working with John?
Yes, of course.
Okay,
that's a given.
All right. Just thought I'd check
on
working
with Rod.
Let's get more creative.
What's really interesting about the Farm Progress Show, and it's really, important for agriculture, is just looking at all the new innovation, whether it's coming in from equipment, it's coming in obviously from electronics is really a big deal, the biologics. There's just so much happening in agriculture. That's what makes agriculture more efficient. That's what's reducing our environmental footprint. It's just really great to see that, and it's good to see the interest of our members in checking that out. Everybody wants to continue to improve their operation for the next generation, and that's what Farm Progress Show, to me, is all about.
So this is my first Farm Progress Show, and what I've seen here is...
I've got about 20.
I know.
Yeah,
well,
did I mention that 2 decades in that, that
2 decades,
couple of years?
maybe 3. Well, I'm a year and a half in, and what I've seen here is a lot of, to Rod's point, the ingenuity, the new products, new places, but for the farmer to work smarter, not harder, but smarter and better, and to be able to pass on to that next generation. That is so key.
Definitely important. Well, I thank you both, Rodney and John, for joining us. Let's switch out and let the double Jims come in and talk about biofuels.
Are you sure you want the double Jims coming in? Right
We'll see what they can give us.
I mean, I know both of them. So.
Thanks, Rihanna.
Yes, thank you guys. For those of you just joining us, we're at booth 605, live from the Farm Progress Show with the Illinois Corn Growers Association and Illinois Soybean Association, who are working together on the power of 2. And one of those things that you guys are working together on are biofuels. First of all, I will let Jim and Jim introduce themselves to you.
Yeah, I'm Jim Martin. I serve as Utilization Chairman for the Illinois Soybean Association. I farm soybeans and corn in LaSalle County.
Hi, I'm Jim Reed. I'm from near Monticello, Illinois, a little town called DeLand, and I grow corn and beans. I'm currently the Vice President of the Illinois Corn Marketing Board and have served on both the Marketing Board and the Growers Board.
Well, I'll dive right into it. Let's talk about what Illinois Corn and Illinois Soy are doing to promote biofuels, both individually and together. Jim Martin, I'll let you start.
Okay, well, biodiesel is really the flagship product of the Illinois Soybean Association, and currently we're rebranding the product. We're promoting higher blends. B20 is a 20% blend of biodiesel. Reduces greenhouse gas emissions and makes for healthier communities. Okay, and we feel that the biodiesel adds about 65 to 75 cents per bushel to a farmer's price for soybeans. Okay, and about 40% of our oil, soybean oil, is used now to blend biodiesel.
Okay, well, thanks, Rihanna. Illinois Corn Marketing Board and the Growers Board have been working on ethanol promotion really from day one. Some of our current efforts involve our involvement at the National Corn to Ethanol Research Center down at SIU Edwardsville. We're always down there and interested in what research is going on by industry and the new products they're trying to develop and the efficiencies they're bringing in. Of course, we're also working on trying to update the infrastructure across the whole country to be able to deal with higher blends like E15 and E25. And of course, as we've heard over the last couple of days, we're really behind the Next Generation Fuels Act, kind of as the next chapter in RFS and renewable fuels. We've been talking to a lot of the Congress people here on the site the last couple of days, and that's really a big initiative of ours to try to help the automakers achieve higher CAFE standards efficiently and be able to kind of compete with that against electrical vehicles, which according to some of the recent studies with Harvard, we got a 46% low carbon gain, which makes us not only compete with EVs, but probably have a lower carbon footprint than what the EVs can really put out when you consider that there's still coal and lithium batteries and a lot of other things that aren't really accounted for at this time in what they're talking about with electric vehicles.
Jim, that transitioned perfectly into my next question, and that is what kind of role that corn and soy play in kind of America's future of renewable fuels. Jim Martin?
Well, again, I mentioned soy biodiesel, lower carbon emissions and greenhouse gas emissions, and really making for a healthier community and replacing petroleum-based fuel.
Here in the tent, you guys are kind of promoting that as well. We've got some signage on some, vehicles out front. Talk to us a little bit more about how you're kind of promoting biofuels in this space.
Well, I'll talk. We have a vehicle over here on the corner of the tent that actually went through the Oak Ridge Labs in Oak Ridge, Tennessee at the National Testing Facility that's already been outfitted for the high-octane, low-carbon fuel of the future, and that has a higher compression ratio. It can make a much better efficient use of the fuel and the ethanol and the octane that goes into it. So you really get, from a smaller engine, you get higher or better power, you get more miles per gallon, and you get cleaner exhaust coming out of that. So it's really what we think is the wave of the future for future automotive transportation in the gasoline segment.
Jim, you guys have the B20 Club.
Yes, B20 Club was a collaboration between the Soybean Checkoff and the Heart Association, okay? Promoting fleets like park districts in Chicago that run diesel buses. They were committing that they would, burn higher blends of diesel in those fleets.
Definitely. I think John mentioned that earlier with the American Lung Association, so that's a very cool project. Aside from biodiesels, we want to talk a little bit, and ethanol, of course, we want to talk a little bit about some other new uses for both corn and soybeans. We can start on the corn side, maybe some of your work with NSERC. Tell us what that is and some other new uses you're working on.
Okay, well, NSERC primarily is ethanol to corn research, but we're always looking for new enzymes, more efficient conversions on availability of turning that corn starch into ethanol, but also we want to look at the corn fiber. Right now there's a lot of talk about cellulosic and the efficiency it gets, and as the next generation or an advanced octane or ethanol requirement for renewable fuels. So there's really a lot of work that can be done on the fiber, but we're also always looking at plastics. There's PLA, the polyometric acids, that are a renewable plastic that can replace oil in the plastic segment also. So we're always looking to try to find the new resources and new uses that we can.
Jim, I know some things on the soybean side too that people don't think about. We got maybe tires, shoes,
Yes.
Basically everything that's part of a consumer's daily life.
Yes, it never ceases to amaze me the things that are made from soybeans. I purchased a set of the Goodyear weather-ready passenger tires. Researchers found that the rubber compound made from soybean oil is more efficient traction in rain and snow and so forth. And that same idea is now being used in Skechers shoes, okay? And also asphalt is one of the newer uses, and there's a dust suppressant that some of my local grain elevators are going to be experimenting with this fall, because during harvest a lot of times their driveways are a cloud of dust from the trucks and wagons going in and out. So exciting new uses to increase demand and possibly increase profitability from a soybean for the farmer.
Very cool. I'm always amazed by those new technologies as well. Outside of the tent here at Farm Progress Show, we're just in day 2. You guys have been walking around to some other places. What else have you seen on, the promotion and importance of ethanol, biodiesel, and other uses for corn and soybeans?
Well, I just say from walking around yesterday, there are a lot of other supply chain companies here. Virtually every seed, chemical, fuel manufacturer, supplier is here. And they all really talk about the biofuels that we're promoting from our organizations. And they're out there on the same page that we are because it's good for the economy, good for jobs, good for the country, and good for the environment. So we're really glad to see that everybody is on board and promoting the biofuels and the uses from our plant-based, natural, renewable resources of corn and soybeans.
Jim?
Yeah, I think a lot of the industries, as you look around, are becoming more aware of what we do with corn and soybean products. And again, it's our job to educate and promote and ultimately make the consumer aware of the different agriculture issues and products that we're making.
If people want to learn more about ethanol, biodiesel, new uses, aside from visiting us here at the Farm Progress Show, here in the next couple of weeks, what can they do? We have a website or some resources anywhere?
Yeah, there's illinoiscorn.org. Welcome to go on, find the website. There's separate tabs for the marketing board as well as for the Corn Growers Association. On the marketing board side, they're going to see more of the research and just general education promotion work we do. And then on the corn growers side, they're going to see more of the legislative initiatives that the group is working on.
Yes, social media, a lot of information out there. ilsoy.org. I would recommend farmers and industry and consumers go there and just really see the way that the checkoff dollars being invested for everybody's benefit.
Well, we'll touch on a few more things going on here at the Farm Progress Show. Out walking around, what has been your favorite thing outside of the corn and soy tent that some of your fellow farmers out walking around should maybe go check out?
Well, the uniqueness of this show are the field demonstrations. And that's always something I think a lot of people come and, maybe they don't spend much time up in Tent City, but being able to go out and see the new technology that's available in the field, that's being delivered to farmers for their availability to purchase, that's really unique about this show, and I think that's one of the largest attractions, and that's certainly something I always enjoy.
Yeah, it's amazing the direction that technology is going in agriculture, okay? I think of Dad and Grandpa, just being amazed at these things. And what I always like to do is, pick the brains of some agronomists and get questions answered from a lot of the herbicide and seed chemical companies and also equipment, ask questions about some of my equipment that I'm still learning about and getting updated with and so forth.
Looking forward here the rest of 2021, maybe on into 2022, what should farmers kind of have their eyes focused on in terms of renewable fuels?
Well, definitely, as we get into the Next Generation Fuels Act debate, we certainly want to hold on to that and have everyone touching base with their representatives in Congress and in the Senate as maybe it gets that far to push that and talk about that locally and relate to what it means to them in the next generation trying to come back to the farm and the profitability it can provide.
Yeah, I would say keep your eyes on legislation. Keep your eyes on what legislators are doing. The renewable fuel standard, for example, and see where we can go as far as reducing our dependence on foreign oil.
Jim, is there anything else that you would like to add about our conversation today or what's going on at the Farm Progress Show?
Well, I just say it's been a real pleasure. Corn and soy, we have so many issues that are similar. We do work on a lot of the same issues together a lot. We do have kind of some special issues, biodiesel, ethanol, but even on that, they're combined under the RFS. And, it's just a pleasure to serve the contributors to the checkoffs in Illinois to both checkoffs.
Yeah, sure is good to be out again in person. Kind of a reunion for everybody in agriculture. And, everybody enjoy Farm Progress Show 2021.
Very good. Well, we've got the experts here at the Farm Progress Show, booth 605 for Illinois corn and Illinois soy. The show's going on today until 5 o'clock, tomorrow from 8 to 4. Here in the booth, we've got some soy lattes and donuts from, I believe, 8 to 10 in the morning, and then in the afternoon you can get some chips from the corn growers and a lot of different things here in the tent to come check out. Live from the Farm Progress Show, I'm Rhiannon Branch, reporting for Brownfield.